In a span of hours, Filipino tennis sensation Alex Ayala scores a pair of wins to enter the semifinals of the Guadalajara Open in Mexico. First, Ayala completed her come-from-behind victory over American Varvara Lepchenko 6-7, 7-6, 6-3. The close fight started yesterday but had to be suspended due to rains in the third set with a score at 3-2 in favor of Ayala. The match resumed earlier this morning, Philippine time, with Ayala nailing 3 of the last 4 games for the win. This set up a quarterfinal clash with Italy's Nicole Fossa Huergo just a few hours after. Ayala bucked fatigue and won the first set, which had to go to a tiebreak. But it was light work for her in the second as she completed a 7-6, 6-2 sweep. Ayala will face another American, Kayla Day, in the semis later at 2 a.m. Ayala is looking to reach her second WTA final after a runner-up finish at the Eastbourne Open last June.
Over at the U.S. Open, defending women's champion Aryna Sabalenka is back in the final. But that meant Sabalenka bounced back in the second. Then come the third, Sabalenka's serve held firm under pressure, eventually helping her clinch the victory. The Belarusian superstar let out a scream, perhaps in relief, as she hacked out a 4-6, 6-3, 6-4 win. The world number 1 is now through to her third straight final at Flushing Meadows.
Sabalenka's next challenger is Amanda Anisimova. And the tournament, her latest victim, two-time U.S. Open champion Naomi Osaka. Anisimova bouncing back here after losing a first-set tiebreak. She won another decider in the second, then broke free in the third for the 6-7, 7-6, 6-3 win. Anisimova is the first player to beat Osaka this late in a Grand Slam. The semis victory...
I told her, I'm so proud of her after having a baby and playing at this level. It's insane. And
moving on to boxing, a marquee matchup between ring legends Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather Jr. is in the pipeline. Reports say that Iron Mike and Money Mayweather have already signed the contract for the exhibition bout, which is supposed to take place next year. Tyson rose through the ranks in the 1980s and became the youngest undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. He's now 59 years old and had retired in 2005. But just last year, he returned to the ring only to lose to Jake Paul via unanimous decision. On the other hand, the 48-year-old Mayweather had his heyday in the 2000s, collecting belts mostly as a welterweight. He ended his pro career undefeated with 50 wins, including one over the great Manny Pacquiao. We've got basketball news coming up. PBA coaches share what they're looking for from this year's draft class as the two-day combine comes to a close. Stay tuned here on Play by Play. And we're back. Thanks for joining us here on Play by Play. A huge blow for the WNBA, specifically for the Indiana Fever. Superstar Caitlin Clark is sitting out the rest of the season. The Fever announced that their franchise player will no longer be available for the team as they make their playoff push. Clark suffered a groin injury before the All-Star break. Then she sustained a bone bruise during her recovery. The sophomore Cager played just 13 games, averaging at least 16 points, 5 rebounds, and almost 9 assists. Indiana currently has 21 wins and 20 losses, good for third place in the East.
Here at home in the PBA, 3 teams pull off a huge trade days before the rookie draft. The deal sends floor general Evan Nelly from Northport to Phoenix, sweet shooting big man Gio Ambon from Converge to Northport, and the rights to veteran center Larry Muyang from Phoenix to Converge. Nelly was the 14th overall pick of the 2024 draft. He averaged almost 5 points and at least 2 assists for the Batang Pierre in last season's Philippine Cup. Ambohot was the 3rd overall pick in 2022. He played limited minutes for the Fiber Xers but proved capable of making significant contributions when given the chance. Muyang was the 7th overall pick in 2020, but he went AWOL on his team and must get clearance from the PBA board to play again.
Phoenix and Converge also traded places in the first round of this year's draft. The Fuel Masters gave up their 2nd overall pick as well as next year's 2nd round pick. In exchange, the Fiber Xers sent their 2025 8th overall pick and stretch big Brian Santos. It's a crucial move for Converge, who are reportedly eyeing to select Juan Gomez de Liaño. The 25-year-old Cager is already an experienced pro with multiple stints abroad, the latest being his run with the Seoul SK Knights in the Korean Basketball League. As for Phoenix, it's getting a 6'5" forward with a sweet stroke in Santos. He averaged at least 4 points and 2 rebounds per game in last season's Philippine Cup.
The 2025 PBA draft will take place in 2 days at the SM Mall of Asia Music Hall. Here's a look at the updated order in the first round. The first pick belongs to the Terra Firma Jeep, and as mentioned earlier, they will now be followed by the Converge Fiber Xers. The third selection belongs to the Blackwater Bossing, then it's the Northport Batang Pierre choosing 4th. The NLEX Road Warriors 5th, and the Magnolia Hotshots rounding out the top 6. The 7th pick will be made by the Meralco Bolts. At 8th, the aforementioned Phoenix Fuel Masters. At 9th, the San Miguel Beermen. 10th, the Elasto Painters, Rain or Shine. And 11th, Barangay Ginebra San Miguel. And finally, Rain or Shine will pick again to close out the first round. The Elasto Painters acquired this pick in a trade with TNT back in 2023. A total of 128 rookie aspirants applied for this year's draft.
The 2-day PBA Draft Combine has come to a close, and teams are narrowing down their choices from this year's batch of rookie hopefuls. What kind of players are coaches looking for? Mobile journalist Denise Valdez-Sancho has this report.
More players showcase their skills in the 2nd day of the PBA Draft Combine at the Enara Sports Arena in Pasig. The rookie hopefuls took part in the tournament, putting their in-game talents on display in front of coaches from different teams. With only 2 days to go before the draft, first-time head coach Ronald Tubid of the Terra Firma Jeep admits he remains undecided on whom they will pick first overall.
New role, pero ito nga, nag-scout kung sino yung available talent, best available talent for this draft. So, for now, undecided pa rin, pero may mga going there na direction na kung sino dito kung mapipili. What if, ganito, ganyan. Maraming tanong eh. Pero meron na kami pinagpipilian for number 1.
Tubid says part of the challenge is rebuilding Terra Firma, which struggled last season and missed the playoffs in all 3 conferences. He's also embracing his new role as a coach, which has been his dream ever since he was a player.
Excited pa rin na matesting na yung ability to coach. So, inaano ko yung challenge na yun. Inaano ko na, siyempre, dream natin na sa player before. That's why nandito tayo eh. Dadagdagan pa namin yun sa sistema namin na before you shoot, depensa muna. So once na makumpleto na, doon na kami bumabomba talaga sa practice. Kasi hindi po pwedeng yung yung time namin eh, by October, opening na eh. So mag-double effort talaga, double ano talaga kami para makahabol.
Another first-time head coach, Willie Wilson of the Phoenix Fuel Masters, hopes to land a big man come draft day.
Well, I think every team is pretty much looking for a solid big man or a big man that can contribute immediately. So that is obviously still at the top of the list, or up there on the list, but at the top of the list would still be fit and best talent available. Right now, no, we're still wide open as far as who we're looking at and who we're prioritizing. All of us coaches and all of the teams pretty much have the same names as far as standouts and that are at the top of the list. So I don't think my answer would differ from the other teams.
Open, Brian Santos in the corner. Oh, that's big.
Phoenix just shored up its front court, getting forward Brian Santos from Converge. But the Fuel Masters had to trade away their second overall pick and settle for the Fiber Xers' 8th pick instead. All eyes now turn to the PBA Season 50 Rookie Draft set this Sunday, September 7 at the Mall of Asia Music Hall. Mobile journalist Denise Valdesancho. We are One News.
In other PBA news, Commissioner Willie Marshall says nothing has been finalized in the reported sale of the Northport Batang Pier franchise to the company Pure Blends. Marshall did confirm that Pure Blends already turned over a letter of intent as well as other requirements. Still, the PBA chief clarified that a committee will still take a closer look at the transaction before giving its recommendations to the PBA board. Just a month ago, the PBA saw a similar situation between the Terra Firma Jeep and the Star Horse shipping lines. But the negotiations fell through when Star Horse failed to comply with the league's financial requirements.
Negotiate ng Pure Blends at Northport. Hinintay lang namin negotiation, nagbigay na ng requirement sa amin, nagbigay na letter of intent. So pag umokay na sa review committee ng governors, iaakit na namin sa board. Pag umokay ang board at okay na yung negotiation nila ng Northport, yun, baka makasama natin sila sa 50th season.
Coming up, what happened, Vela? I know, jersey retirement, right? Volleyball superstar Bella Belen becomes the first Lady Bulldog to have her jersey retired by NU. All that and more when Play-by-Play returns. Stick with us.
Welcome back. You're watching Play by Play on One News. Another team has landed in the Philippines ahead of the upcoming 2025 FIVB Men's Volleyball World Championship. Team Romania arrived last night. They are the second squad to come over following Portugal earlier this week. Romania is back on the world stage for the 11th time, but this is their first since 1982. The 43-year gap is one of the longest between World Championship stints. Romania is placed in Pool B. They will battle powerhouse Poland, the Netherlands, and Qatar. Meantime, immortality for volleyball superstar Bella Belen. Her alma mater, National University, retired her iconic jersey number 4 during their pep rally at the Mall of Asia Music Hall. Belen is the first Lady Bulldog to have her number retired. She also joins a select group of UAAP volleyball greats who've had their jerseys retired, like LaSalle's Manila Santos Nang and FEU's Rachel Ann Dakis. Belen's career with NU spanned 11 years. In high school, she guided NU Nazareth to 6 straight UAAP finals. Then, she had a legendary collegiate run, which started with a rookie MVP season and a championship in 2022. She ended up with 3 MVP wins and 3 UAAP titles, including back-to-back crowns in seasons 86 and 87. Belen has moved forward as a key piece of a Las Pilipinas women. She was also the consensus top pick in the 2025 PVL draft by the Capital One Solar Spikers.
Well, in honor of Bella Belen's illustrious UAAP career, we've got her best plays in tonight's highlight reel. First, we, of course, go back to her rookie year. Look at this, the serve for Bella, and she finds the corner pocket against UP. This match was extra special because that was just one of 8 aces that she had to tie the UAAP record for one match. Next up, Game 1 of Season 84 Finals. Belen receives, they target her, but Lams Lamina gave it back to Bella. And you know what she does? She serves up the facial on Thea Gagate. And you, of course, went on to sweep the finals against LaSalle. Belen was hailed as the first ever rookie MVP in UAAP women's volleyball history. Now, next, her sophomore year, Game 1 of the Season 85 Finals. It's Gagate who serves it up to Belen. Lamina again sets it to Belen, and then she gets blocked. She gets it off the block, actually, against her rival Angel Canino. But to accentuate this highlight, check out the stare down. That was also an iconic stare down. No one can forget that. However, and you could not secure back-to-back titles as LaSalle went on to win Games 1 and 2. Next highlight is gonna be Belen's redemption in Season 86. Lamina with a sharp serve. And Dedet Pepito receives Cassie Carvalho, sends it to Sai Zagula. And then, of course, Belen would try that cross-court hit. It's going to be a rally between these two teams. An exchange, Gula and Vange. With that exchange, of course, Carvalho goes back to the middle, but Pia Abu gets denied by Bella Belen. She really can do everything, as that was a solo kill block by Bella. And you went on to reclaim the UAAP title, and Belen also secured her second season MVP award. Now we go to Bella's final playing year. Shaira Hardy receives Lams Lamina. Will go to Bella Belen, who finds the smart angle without down-the-line attack. That was actually the final point of Bella in her legendary UAAP career. Imagine she ended up with 3 MVP plums. More importantly, back-to-back titles for the Lady Bulldogs. What a career. Back to you, Cheska.
And before we go, tennis superstar Naomi Osaka may be out of the US Open, but she left New York with a lasting impression, not just with her skills, but also with her sparkly tennis-themed La. Osaka proudly showcased the Labubus whenever she entered the court, and the plush toys also made appearances in the post-game pressers. Each one is named after and inspired by a different tennis icon. For instance, Billie Jean Bling, decked out in red rhinestones to match her round one outfit. And then there's Arthur Flash, named after Arthur Ashe, a three-time slam winner and the first black player selected to the United States Davis Cup team. The late Althea Gibson also gets a nod through Althea Glitterson. And yesterday, Andre Swagasi made a debut, named after the 8-time slam champ Andre Agassi. But her run ended in the semis after losing to Amanda Anisimova. In the postgame, Osaka revealed that the last Labubu would have been herself. The 27-year-old had earlier said the trend will not continue after the U.S. Open.
I'm quite sad that we didn't get to see that final Labubu.
I wanted to see the Naomi Osaka Labubu.
But the Labubu name game
I know,
is as
I love
strong
it.
as her tennis
So,
game.
no, but that's why. Like, what would Naomi Osaka's Labubu name be for herself?
It will stay as a mystery,
Mystery.
and that's eating me alive.
I hate that we'll never know.
Well, that's all from us tonight. Catch us again Monday at 8:30 p.m. for a play-by-play of the day's top sports stories.
Play-by-play is on One News, that's Signal TV Channel 8 on SD and Channel 250 on HD. We are also available on Signal Play and Pilipinas Live.
I'm Jot Sulit, sitting in for Andre Felix.
And I'm Cheska Liton Calao. Thank you for watching. Happy Friday, happy weekend, everyone. Good night.